Alright guys, in this video, I'll show you how to add WebView to your application using the React Native WebView library. With WebView, you can render web content in your application. You can think of WebView as a portal to web pages out there. And so I started a new React Native application using the create expo app command. And what we see here is a scaffolding code for a newly created application. But what we can do here is remove the imports here and just import WebView from the React Native library. And I already installed previously React Native library on my machine by running npm install React Native library. So what I'll do here is import WebView from the React Native WebView library. Now that WebView is imported from the library, then we can invoke that component here, calling WebView. And we'll pass some properties. In our case, we want to just render a web page in our application that looks and feel like it's coming from our application itself. In our case, we'll add a source object, and within that object, we'll pass in a URI. And for my case, I want to pass an OpenAI URI right here. And that should be it for now. We'll remove styling here and just render what we are seeing for OpenAI. I'm pointing to a blog for ChatGPT. As you can see here, our simulator is showing that page with all the content in the blog post. But as you can see, there are some spaces at the top and some spaces at the bottom that might make it hard for us to play with the bar at the bottom here. So what we can do is add another property to WebView, and that property would be a style property where we can pass in an object with margins. And in this case, it could be margin bottom. We can have a margin at the bottom so we can easily play with the bar at the bottom of our screen of 20. And we can do the same thing for margin top. We can add a margin top of 50, so we'll have enough space at the top of our screen, and so the WebView will stay in that space. That makes sense. So if we save that here, let's see what happened here. We have WebView style. Save that here. We get some space at the top, some margin at the top and some margin at the bottom, so it's easier for us to play with that button bar and open and close our application whenever we pleased. And that is it for the most basic use case of WebView, using only two props. In this case, we used source and style, but you can also take a look at the API reference in the documentation. I'll add the link to the description of this video so you guys can take a look at all the other props that you can use with WebView depending on the problem that you're trying to solve. And that's all I have for this video. This was just a very simple way to use WebView in our React Native application, just to point to a web page. In this case, we pointed to OpenAI, to a blog post at openai.com, and opened it from our React Native application with that look and feel. We added a little bit of styling for it, so it looks a little bit more natural and within the container of our application. I hope you guys learned something new in this video. If you liked the video, remember to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.